two longboards, both the same model, except one is 9 foot and the other is 9 foot 6 inches. Does that make much of a difference? Well, this is very exciting for me because I've been wondering the answer to this question since I started longboarding, and over the last couple of weeks, I got to do a side-by-side comparison of both boards. The results are fascinating, and if you're in the market for a longboard, this video could help. It's taken me so long to do a video like this because I simply didn't know anyone with a smaller version of my board. That is until I met Anthony. But I need... Oh, there's Anthony. He has a nearly fresh off the shelf 9 foot COS Chingona, and he was willing to do this video with me. I also had to make sure I got all the variables correct to make this as accurate of a comparison as possible. Obviously we have the same model board checked off, but what do we do about the fin? Of course we're going to use the same model fin, and we're going with the Greeno 4A, but do we use the same length fin? I currently own a 10.5 inch, and after consulting with Billy Tusher, we decided that putting a 1/2 inch smaller fin on the 9 foot board should make the most accurate of comparisons. Shortly after this discussion, the Beach House Surf Shop in Bay had Instagrammed that True Ames just delivered a bunch of fins, and I went and picked up a 10-inch 4A. The last thing I know I needed for this comparison were 2 separate surf sessions with 2 completely different types of waves, and that's exactly what we got. All right, day 1, testing out board size. And this is a good day because the waves are big. So I want to test large waves with both boards and also more manageable longboard waves. So today is going to be the large day. All right, yeah, just pop your board over here.
I'm excited. Thank you for letting me use it. Fins galore!
You're going to have all my fins.
My master plan all along.
The first thing we did was ride our own board, so I'm on the 9.6 and Anthony is on the 9 foot. Now going into this, I knew the smaller board would be easier to turn, but how much easier? And of course, the biggest question on my mind is how different will nose riding be? Nose riding is my #1 goal when I head out to surf, but recently I've been focusing on turns, so I've just been wondering, will a smaller board suit me a little better? After getting the feel of the waves on our own boards, we decided to switch it up, and boy, does this thing feel tiny. I haven't ridden shortboards in a long time, and I know this ain't no shortboard, but it feels like one after riding a 9.6 for so long. This brings me to my first major realization that this thing is not just 6 inches shorter. Obviously, I should have known this, but when they make a shorter longboard, they don't just lop off 6 inches and call it a day. The whole thing is thinner, it's not as wide, and obviously not as much volume, and all those things make a huge difference. All that being said, I had an absolute blast on this board in these conditions. In fact, with waves this size, I would pick the 9 foot over the 9.6 all day long. I'm only 130 pounds, and I felt like I could finally muscle a longboard around, kind of like you see the pros do, just not nearly as good. And of course, the big question, nose riding. Well, not many nose rideable waves came in while I was on the 9 foot, so I had to take a few nose rides straight into closeouts just to try and get some sort of feel. To me, it felt very stable and locked in like my 9.6 would feel, but the true test came during the next session. Day 2 of the size test, and it's looking like a lot tamer waves today, which is exactly what we need, because I need to get some nose rides. That was so much fun testing both boards out on the bigger waves, but I need to check and see how they both nose ride, because that's what I'm really the most curious about, to be quite honest. And yes, the waves look great. This is everything I ask for in a wave. Nice and clean, the perfect size, and we started off the same way as last time, each on our own boards. Since they were so easy and clean, we quickly made the switch. 9-foot, still really fun to muscle around, but within a few waves, I already wanted to switch back to the 9.6. The 9-foot was considerably harder to nose ride, and you really had to be close to the pocket to make it happen, which I never really did. As you can see with this wave, I'm too far out on the shoulder and I nosedive accordingly. If I was on my 9.6, I most likely would have made this nose ride happen. So what size board should you get? In a perfect world, tons of sizes. Given my success on day 1 with the 9-foot, I now want a 9-foot. I loved how much I was able to muscle it around that I'm even considering a 9.4 as my main nose rider. But no matter what your height and weight, there seems to be a minimum size if you're looking for that traditional longboard feel. My suggestion for you is if you're interested in a certain board, email the company directly and ask which size board you should get given your height and weight. I've done this multiple times with Bing and Tony from Clean Ocean Surf, and they've always responded with great feedback. Now, if you're able to, I highly suggest getting your feet wet with turning longboards before you buy one. You may think you only want a nose ride until you start turning and realize how much fun it is, and that's going to play a big part in longboard selection. Make sure you watch this video next and you'll be turning longboards in no time and be fully ready before you make your first or next longboard purchase. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.